Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Hey guys, you know what I want to do right now? Watch things. Because that's what we're doing. The Secrets of Cambridge Streets. Okay. And one of the best pranks in history. Ooh. History hit, great channel, preemptive like, original link to the video, top of the description, right below that, link to the Discord. Let's go.
This is Cambridge, one of the most historic, beautiful cities in the world. It's also home to an incredible university, and with it, quite a lot of pretty brainy people. In this video, we'll be looking at everything from Oliver Cromwell's decapitated head to Newton's apple tree. We'll be looking at student pranks and world-changing discoveries. These are the secrets of Cambridge's streets and waterways. Ahoy!
She's a good host.
There have been settlements on the site of Cambridge since
She's not
ancient
Dan
time.
Snow, okay, but she's good.
There have been settlements on the site of Cambridge since ancient times, and it was here, on this grassy mound, that they discovered archaeological evidence of the Iron Age settlement dating from the 1st century BC.
When the Romans arrived, they developed this into a fort, and many centuries later, in 1068, 2 years after the Norman conquest, William the Conqueror built his own castle here, the moat of which still survives to this day. And it was a good choice because it's got magnificent views of the surrounding countryside.
The name Cambridge probably derives from the Roman Camboricum, meaning
Use some water right there, sprinklers. That's nice over there, but you see it's got a lot more shade. Okay, sorry.
Cambridge probably derives from the Roman Camboricum, meaning passage or ford. Indeed, the city is intersected by the famous River Cam, and so the best way to see the city, some say, is from the waters. All aboard, everybody! Time to go punting!
We have hired a boat from Scudamores on Mill Lane, setting off down the backs. Wish us luck.
That'd be a fun workout.
What do they say about never stand up on a boat? Right. Right. We're off. Ahoy! Everyone behave. Okay.
Is it all level or
quite
does it get
tricky.
deeper?
We're travelling along a section of the river called the Backs, because the buildings which surround us are the backs of the university colleges. Clever.
Now, punting is actually quite a challenging experience, but it's okay once you get the hang of it. You stand at the back of the punt. This is called a till in Cambridge, or a swim in Oxford.
I feel like it would be difficult to steer. I understand how you can propel it pretty easily, but
You bring the pole up vertically and drop it in the water behind the punt, and then just push down, and then you can kind of use the back as a rudder. So if I pull it this way, then you'll see we're turning to the left, or to use proper nautical language,
starboard.
We're turning starboard.
Jerome K. Jerome wrote about punting in his book, 3 Men in a Boat. This is what he said.
Punting is not as easy as it looks. As in rowing, you soon learn how to get along and handle the craft, but it takes a long practice before you can do this with dignity and without getting the water all up your sleeve.
I need some water. Very badly.
This is King's College Chapel in Cambridge, and it's one of the finest examples of Gothic architecture in the world. It's typical of the late Perpendicular Gothic in England, as demonstrated by the great soaring towers, the enormous pointed window flooding the interior with light, all of which is decorated with much tracery and elaboration. And inside is the largest example of fan vaulting ever built.
That's beautiful.
It is remarkable then that this triumph of beauty was created during some of England's darkest days, the Wars of the Roses. In fact, 5 monarchs oversaw its completion. Construction began in 1446 and it was finally completed under Henry VIII in 1515.
William Wordsworth was certainly impressed with King's College. He called it an immense and glorious work of fine intelligence.
We're heading under the mathematical.
So is it all connected? I mean, I can't tell if that's a walkway. So you can get from here to here without leaving the building? I love this sort of architecture. I don't know the names. Gothic? I don't know.
We're heading under the mathematical bridge.
Oh, there's a professor. He's got a tweed coat on.
Further along the river is the Bridge of Sighs, an iconic feature of St. John's College. It's named after the Bridge of Sighs in Venice. That's the one connected to the Doge's Palace.
It was built in 1831 in the Gothic Revival style, and it's been featured in many films, including The Theory of Everything from 2014. But it has also been the victim of quite an audacious student prank. In June 1963, a group of students made a raft along the River Cam out of 4 punts lashed together. On this raft, they managed to place a car, a 1928 Austin 7. The students then punted the car along the river to the Bridge of Sighs and hoisted it up under the bridge, where it was left to hang for the university porters to discover it the following morning. So, good to hear that rigorous Cambridge education being put to good use. And we've arrived. Good to be back on dry land. Whew. What an adventure.
Just around the corner is the main street in Cambridge, King's Parade, so named because of King's College, which dominates it. And one of the most peculiar monuments is the Corpus Clock, a fascinating object.
Its face is plated in pure gold, and these radiating ripples are supposed to allude to the Big Bang, the event that formed the universe and could be considered as the beginning of time. This grasshopper-like creature here is a chronophage, meaning a time eater, and here it is devouring every minute as it passes with a snap of its jaws. Now, this clock has no hands or digital numbers, so the way you tell the time is by looking at these rings. It tells us the hours on the innermost ring, then the minutes, then the seconds. And in true Cambridge style, it's got the Latin inscription, which reads, "The world and its desires pass away," basically saying the time is running out. And on that note, we better press on. Thanks.
One of the oldest buildings in the city is the Round Church.
I just know there's a giant chance of me looking the wrong way because I'm expecting the car and then just getting run over in London. It would happen.
One of the oldest buildings in the city is the Round Church.
It was built around 1130, its shape being inspired by the rotunda of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, and it's one of the 4 medieval round churches still in use in England, one of which being Temple Church in London, which you can find out all about if you watch this video. This little plaque marks something quite remarkable, what some people have called the birthplace of the Reformation in England. It is the site of the White Horse Inn, known as Little Germany, where Cambridge scholars would debate the works of Martin Luther in the early 16th century.
Site of the White Horse Inn, known as Little Germany, where Cambridge scholars debated the works of Martin Luther. Yep. I don't know why I had to repeat that.
This is Sidney Sussex, locally known as Sidney Sainsbury's because of its proximity to the supermarket. But although it might look like quite an idyllic little college, it's got some pretty morbid history.
Following the English Civil War and Commonwealth, Charles II was restored as King of England. And taking revenge on Oliver Cromwell, he dug up Cromwell's grave, hanged it in chains at Tyburn, and had it beheaded. Cromwell's body was then thrown into a common grave, with his head put on a spike outside Westminster Hall for 30 years.
During a storm in 1685, Cromwell's head reportedly fell from the spike and was thrown to the ground. The story goes that a guard found the head, removed the spike and took it home. Over the years it's been in collections, put on display, and it was finally buried in a sacred space, the chapel of this college, Sidney Sussex, in an unmarked grave. And even those who know where it is are sworn to secrecy.
This is one of the most magnificent pieces of architecture in Cambridge, the gate of Trinity College. We have a statue of the college founder, Henry VIII, in a niche above the doorway.
Originally, Henry was depicted holding a sword, but you'll notice he now holds a chair leg, bizarrely replaced over the years. Just one of those Cambridge quirks. And beneath Henry's statue are the coats of arms of Edward III and his 5 sons who survived to maturity, as well as William of Hatfield, whose shield is blank. This is because he died as an infant before being granted arms.
Nearby is the flower of Kent apple tree, growing just outside the entrance to Trinity College. And it is known as Newton's apple tree.
It was grafted from the actual tree which resides at Newton's childhood home in Lincolnshire. That's the tree where Newton first saw the apple fall from its branch.
Okay, so it wasn't sitting there, but that tree is from the same tree.
Which supposedly helped form his ideas around gravity.
Newton actually came to study at Cambridge in 1661, but due to an outbreak
Was that a myth? Like, did that really happen, or was that made up just to like have a fun way? Like, oh, that's how we thought about it.
Actually came to study at Cambridge in 1661, but due to an outbreak of the bubonic plague, he returned home in a few years, which is lucky for us, because it was at this point that he made the great apple discovery. And tucked behind Trinity College is Trinity Hall. This is one of the smallest of the Cambridge colleges.
It was founded in 1350 by Bishop Bateman of Norwich to provide for a new set of clergy and lawyers in the wake of the Black Death.
Ooh, nice.
This is Senate House.
Nicely done. Oh, no!
Trinity
1850 by Bishop Bateman of the
Senate House, designed by James Gibbs and built in the 1720s out of Portland stone in the neoclassical style.
This is supposed to be one of the most important buildings of the university.
Neoclassical?
Out of Portland stone in the neoclassical style.
Near or neo? Wouldn't neoclassical be an oxymoron? Or near classical, did she say?
This is supposed to be one of the most important buildings of the university, used for meetings of the Senate and graduation ceremonies. But the students haven't always treated it with such decorum. Like the Bridge of Sighs, it's been subject to various student pranks. They managed to place a battered Austin 7 van on the roof in 1958 and a fully decorated Christmas tree in November 2022. Which is pretty impressive, if you ask me.
This is the Eagle Pub, and for decades it was the local watering hole for scientists from the nearby Cavendish Laboratory.
And it was here on the 28th of February 1953 that Francis Crick and James Watson made the first public announcement that they had found the secret of life. What they and other scientists such as Rosalind Franklin had discovered was something pretty important: how DNA carries genetic information. See, you always come up with good ideas when you go to the pub.
But the most important part of Cambridge's long and illustrious history came in 1920
Fritz
with the
Billy?
arrival of the famous bakery Fitzbilly's, still going to this very day. Famous bakery Fitzbilly's, still going to this
Cinnamon rolls.
very
1920.
day.
Ooh. 2 Chelsea buns, please.
Ooh, that looks good. She called it a
Wonderful. Thank you.
Chelsea bun. Hey, you didn't pay.
Well. These ultra sticky Chelsea buns are Fitzbilly's most famous and most popular product. On busy days, they'll bake and sell 800 buns. The head baker has been there for 50 years, and it's estimated that she has made 5 million buns. That's enough to stretch from Cambridge to the International Space Station.
Jeez.
So there you have it. Those are the secrets of Cambridge's streets. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers. Delicious.
Great video.
Thanks
Dan!
for watching this video on the History Hit YouTube channel. You can subscribe right here to make sure you don't miss any of our great
Narnia.
This is the spot where Narnia came to C.S. Lewis's imagination, and it's believed that C.S. Lewis, author of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, was inspired by the magic of Oxford streets to write his tales of Narnia.
C.S. Lewis stumbled out this doorway in Brasenose College. It was a snowy night, and he came upon this solitary lamppost. And then, further along St. Mary's Passage, he came across this doorway with this lion-like face in the centre, a sort of green man figure, and it's flanked by these 2 fawns, these creatures which are half man and half goat.
Is the speculation true? Who knows?
But it
Aslan.
does feel like rather a coincidence. What do you think?
She's fantastic. I love the History Hit
Mr.
hosts. They're always really good. Okay, interesting video. I'm waking up. I'm more awake. I need to get coffee. See you guys next time. Bye.